Respected chairpersons, delegates, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to convey my heartfelt thanks to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to talk on interpretations of liver function test. By liver function test, actually it consists of biochemical test and pathological test and the radiological test. But commonly by LFT, we refer to the biochemical test. So in the further my talk, I'll just stick to biochemical test only. So we do the biochemical test to know the extent of the liver disease and to differentiate between the different types of liver disease and to know the any presence of liver disease and also to know the response of the treatment. But one should be very much careful while reading the liver function test because it may be very tricky. It may be almost normal even in advanced liver disease like cirrhosis of liver. At the same time, some liver enzymes may be abnormal in spite of the normal liver function. In the open study level in the adults in the US, it has been seen that around 6 to 8% of people are having abnormal liver enzyme in spite of having the normal liver function. But one should keep in mind the liver function test doesn't give a specific diagnosis, rather it gives a group of disorders like hepatocellular, cholestasis or infiltrative. Thus gives us the further direction. So we know all the functions, and according to these functions, they have been tested or grouped in a different way, and all biochemical tests cannot be measured, and all biochemical tests are not required in the clinical practice for the interpreting the common liver disorders. And we need battery test. Single test is not much of useful, and that too on the several occasions. So SKT functions, these are the tests, and on the detoxifier functions, just I like to mention about the ammonia here. We do in the hepatic encephalopathy cases, but the studies have shown that it is not much of helpful in the outcomes. But it may be useful in the situations where the encephalopathy, but we do not know the etiology of the encephalopathy. To rule out the hepatic disorder, we might go for the blood ammonia test. And the few studies have shown that in acute formulary hepatic failure, this can give a prognostic marker. And the synthetic function is the plasma protein, the protein mean time. And this is of not much of clinical importance in the interpretations. And the most important is liver enzymes. I'll come one after another. The serum bilirubin, we know that you got two fractions, unconjugated and conjugated. Conjugated one is soluble in water, it's in the urine. Unconjugated is not soluble in water, bound to albumin. And serum, there is a conjugated hyperbilirubinemia, it always implies hepatocellular disease, but unconjugated is almost not due to the liver cause. In the most of the liver disease, both conjugated and unconjugated are raised. And the degree of elevation has not much of prognostic value, but its high level in viral hepatitis indicates the more hepatocellular injury, similarly in the drug-induced liver disease also. So also the increased level of serum bilirubin increases, it shows the poor outcome in alcoholic liver hepatitis. If you look at the isolated hyperbilirubinemia, then the causes will be, first we got to keep in mind the hemolytic anemias because of the medical emergency, and first we got to rule out the hemolytic diseases by doing LDH, peripheral vascular, etc. After ruling out that, we got to go for the genetic, the next common cause is genetic disorder like Gilbert, and very young we can get a Killer disease. In our northern states, we are commonly having the hemoglobinopathies like hemoglobin E. There we get a mild hyperbilirubinemia, and that is an unconjugated bilirubin you will get if you get patient from the northeast. And conjugated hyperbilirubin is increased in the cholestasis and other genetic disorder like Dubin's and Rotor's. But in most of the liver disorder, both conjugated and unconjugated increase. If you get a urine bilirubin, it always signifies that liver disease, because and it has to be conjugated one. Likewise, if you get a markedly increase in the bilirubin in the urine, it signifies the hemolysis. Once you get this in the urine and you got unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, you must rule out, and that gives an indication for the hemolysis, and that should be taken care of. So next synthetic function, the plasma protein and the coagulation profiles. And plasma proteins, we know that the liver is the sole site for the plasma protein production, except the immunoglobulin. Serum albumin comes at 60%, and albumin has the short half-life of around 3 weeks. So it is not a very good indicator in the mild or acute liver disorder because of slow turnover. Once you get a level of less than 3 in hepatitis, it signifies we got to rule out any chronic liver disease, and hypovolemia is more common in the chronic liver disease like cirrhosis. But we got to keep in the mind that hypovolemia can be present in other conditions like nephrotic syndrome, potassium enteropathies. Now the globulin, alpha, beta, gamma, we know, and usually the gamma globulins are increased in the chronic liver disease, and you can give the subtypes. If you do that electrophoresis, that given clue to the etiology of chronic liver diseases. Like if you get a diffuse polyclinic increase in the IgG, it implies probably we are dealing with autoimmune hepatitis, and likewise IgM in primary biliary sclerosis, and in alcoholic liver disease, Ig will be raised. Next, the synthetic function of coagulation ferment, except the vitamin factor 7, all others are synthesized by the liver. As this half-life is quite short, from 6 to 5 days, so it will be the single best test to measurement of the acute measurement of the hepatic synthetic function because of rapid turnover. It is helpful in both diagnosis and prognosis of acute liver disease. And the serum prothrombin time almost collectively measures most of the coagulation profile. But we got to keep in mind, apart from the liver disorders, it can be increase in the fat malabsorption of any kind. But if you get a prothrombin time more than 5 of the control, and which is not corrected by the parental vitamin K, it is always a poor sign of acute viral hepatitis or other acute and chronic liver disease. Prothrombin time level may correlate severity and prognosis of liver, but it doesn't increases the risk of bleeding because there is a compensatory decrease in the protein C and protein S and antithrombin. And the transmissibility most important, most sensitive marker of the liver injury. The enzymes which reflects the hepatocyte injury are the AST, ALT, and the cholestasis are ALP, GGT, and 5-nucleotidase. And now AST apart from the liver, and we can get in heart, kidney, skeletal, etc. And the ALT is the point primarily in the liver, so it is a good specific indicator for the liver injury. So out of 2, ALT and AST, ALT is more specific. So there is a poor correlation with the liver damage and the level of the aminotransferases, and it has no prognostic importance. Any type of liver injury can get moderate elevation, level up to 300 can be non-specific, but once it is more than 1000, it indicates that extensive hepatocellular damage, and we get specifically in viral hepatitis and ischemic liver injury or any drug-induced liver injury. And this ratio is also important, but especially I like to mention about the alcoholic liver disease. We call it Rattis ratio. When there is the AST, ALT is more than 2.1 suggestive alcoholic liver disease, and it is when 3:1 it is more suggestive. And here in the alcoholic liver, AST is rarely increased more than 300 and LT is normal. LT normal being there is a deficiency of pyridoxal phosphate due to the alcohol. Similarly, in obstructive jaundice, you can is not greatly increased, but except in the acute when there is a biliary obstruction, you can get more than 1000, but which settles to the cholestatic level once the obstruction release. Isolated ALT rise you can see in chronic hepatitis C, fatty liver. Isolated AST you can get alcohol-related drug-induced hemolysis. So the enzymes which indicates the cholestasis are the ALP and 5-nucleotidase and GGT, and ALP and 5-nucleotidase is more specific for the cholestasis than the GGT. Now alkaline phosphatase, we got a distinct different isotypes, and they're found in the liver, bone, placenta, and small intestine. While eating this, one must be careful that in elderly, it is usually more than 1.5 times the normal level, and the blood group of O and B can have elevated ALP after the fatty meal, and in the late pregnancy, because of secretion from the placenta, there may be slight elevation of the ALP. Less than 3-fold field is ALP is the non-specific, but once it is then the 4-fold specific for the cholestasis and other inflammatory liver diseases like cancer, amyloidosis, another rapid bone turnover like Paget disease also you can get the increased ALP level. Once we get the isolated ALP level, we want to know the source, then probably you can do the fractionation of ALP to know the source, or else we can go for the if there's a GGT of 5-nucleotide is increased and signifies the liver origin. Another common cause might get like diabetes, hyperthyroidism, IBD, you might get the raised ALP. That the condition so it will be keep in mind while reading the ALP. Level of ALP cannot differentiate between intra and extrahepatic cholestasis. Now next enzyme which indicates the cholestasis is the GGT, and GGT is an indicator of hepatobiliary, not is very specific, and main role is to confirm the raised ALP is of hepatobiliary origin. Then isolated rise of GGT is seen in patient with alcohol abuse without the liver disease, because the alcohol increases the GGT plasma half-life to 5 times, from 5 days to 25 days. If somebody is abstained from the alcohol for 20 days also, you can get the high level of the GGT, and you can get an idea, clue, probably patient had alcohol intake very recent past. Normal GGT level have a high negative predictive value in excluding the hepatobiliary disease. The 5-nucleotidase also it helps the rise of ALP in the suggesting as the cholestasis. And the lactate dehydrogenase is the measurement of little value in the evaluation of the liver function. High level can be seen in hepatocellular necrosis, ischemic hepatitis, cancer, and hemolysis. Likewise, like we got to see that like the ratio of ALT and AST, if you can make the ratio of ALT and LDH, probably those high level of enzyme, liver enzymes, more than 1,000, we can differentiate here with this ratio. Like in viral hepatitis, ALT-AST will be more than 1.5, and ischemic and the drug induced it will be less than 1.5. So probably I'm finishing my time. So these are few charges, sort of I'm not going through this. So to interpret a liver function test, you do not require everybody, all tests to be done. These few specific tests, you can give an indirect idea and you can give a guideline. So but better tests are required. And so to test this, if you can have, apart from LFT, you have to do a prothrombin time also. This is very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singha, for a very comprehensive talk on liver function test. As we are aware that liver covers a wide range of activities throughout the body, perhaps next most important after brain. And while assessing the patient, we should always consider liver function test as a preliminary screening test.
Right, sir.
And any shortage of time, 1 or 2 questions may be entertained. Any questions?
Is there any correlation between GGT and alkaline phosphatase?
Sir, I already said once you got a GGT helps in giving you a diagnosis of cholestasis when there will be alkaline phosphatase will be more. If only GGT is more, you got to think of other causes apart from the liver. GGT can be raised in other conditions also, like any disease from the pancreas, any disease from the renal failure, the GGT can be raised. And if ALP is not more, you got to think of those causes, and you got to find out from the patient whether the patient has the alcohol. Even some drugs, even OC, drugs like methotrexate, can have the increase in the GGT. But GGT in the clinical implementation liver function test is helpful in diagnosis whether we are dealing with cholestasis or not. It helps with the ALP only.